Welcome to the second episode of the Everything Hoops podcast. I'm your host, Daniel Mahoney, and on this episode, I will be going over every single NBA team's over and under and telling you if you should go over their win total or under. Let me make this clear. I am doing this for fun. I don't think it's a good idea to take gambling advice from a 20-year-old.
I ain't your mama.
However, if you do make some money because of the information I tell you in this podcast, then I expect at least 10% of your winnings because I am a broke college student and I can use all the money that I can get.
Spare change. Spare change, ma'am.
First team I am going to talk about is the Atlanta Hawks.
And Hunter. And here's Young. Backtracks, 5 to shoot. Young lets it go. And hits! Woo! Ice cold.
Their over-under is 42.5, and I'm going to take the over on the Hawks because their coaching is better this season. I don't think that Nate McMillan did a good job as a Hawks head coach. I like Quinn Snyder better, and in the preseason, I have liked how the Hawks have looked both on offense and on defense. Now, for the Boston Celtics.
A lot of elite individual defenders as Tatum knocks down another. He's unguardable.
Their over-under is 54.5. I'm going with the over for the Boston Celtics because this team is so talented. Of course, you got Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, but they added Drew Holiday and Kristaps Porzingis. They're just going to be so successful in the regular season, in my opinion. They are going to hit a bunch of threes and be really good on defense, which that's a recipe for good success during the regular season. And I think that the Celtics are going to be good in the regular season once again. So I can see them win around 55 to 57 games. For the Brooklyn Nets,
Bridges against Butler. Bridges, shake, fake. Bridges, count it, and a foul. Mikal Bridges is doing it all.
I am going to take the over. I think that this one's pretty easy because their over-under is 37.5. I understand they were mid after trading Kyrie and Kevin Durant. However, I still think that this is a good team. You have Mikal Bridges, who's a really good player, borderline all-star player. Ben Simmons, he's looked good during the preseason. I don't know how Ben is going to play during the regular season, but if he plays like how he has during the preseason, then that only helps the Brooklyn Nets. The Nets are also really good defensively. That is why I think it's pretty easy to take the over on the Brooklyn Nets. If they don't win over 37 games, that's like the 13th seed, and that would lead to a lot of people being fired, and honestly, that would be pretty embarrassing. Next team is the Charlotte Hornets, and they are honestly the laughingstock of the NBA, but this team isn't that bad. It's not as bad as people are saying. LaMelo Ball is great. He's a great young player. He's so fun to watch. They also got Terry Rozier, Gordon Hayward, some good vets, but you can't rely on Gordon Hayward to stay healthy. PJ Washington is a solid player, good defensively, solid on offense too, but a little inconsistent. Mark Williams is a really good young center. He's good defensively, and on offense, he can catch lobs. For the Hornets, I just don't think that they're going to be elite at really anything. I think they're going to be okay on defense, especially because they're being more aggressive on defense, trapping pick and rolls, and then relying on backside defense and solid rotations. They've been putting in good effort on defense during the preseason. And then on offense, I think if they play fast, use LaMelo and how good he is in transition, then I think that they can be a solid offensive team too. The problem is I don't think that they're going to hit enough threes, and I think that they are going to struggle at finishing at the rim. They're really inefficient in the paint. They attack the basket a lot, but they don't finish at the paint really well. Even though I do not think that the Hornets will have a successful regular season, I do think they will win over 31 games. Next team is the Chicago Bulls.
Count it, and the foul. A master class tonight from DeMar DeRozan. He's got 41.
And their over-under is 37.5. For me, this is another over because I think that the Bulls offense does look better in the preseason because last year it was just DeMar, Zach isolations. They took no threes. They played really slow. However, in the preseason, it has looked a little different. So hopefully they play faster. I also like Kobe White starting at the point guard. And the Bulls are going to be really good defensively. I also like the Bulls bringing in Javon Carter and Torrey Craig. Those are two really good perimeter defenders. Next team is the Cleveland Cavaliers, and I am once again going to take the over because I really like the Cavs. Their over is 50.5. I like that they added Strus and George Niang because they needed three-point shooting, and they're a really good defensive team. I also like Darius Garland and Donovan Mitchell, even though I have concerns about them in the playoffs because I don't know if you can play two bigs that can't space the floor in the playoffs. I do think that the Cavs are going to have success again in the regular season. That is why I'm going to take the over on the Cleveland Cavaliers. Now, for the Dallas Mavericks.
Nothing shocks me about this game.
And that drew rim. It's still loose. Luka got it back. He did it. An improbable comeback by Dallas to tie it with 1 second left.
I'm actually going to take the under for once. I know, surprise. This is the first time I'm taking the under. But their under is 43.5. And it has nothing to do with Luka and Kyrie. I hate when people talk about the Mavs, they say, oh, it's because Luka and Kyrie can't fit next to each other. The Mavs have been perfectly fine on offense since trading for Kyrie. That's not the problem. The problem is coaching and defense. Jason Kidd is just not a good head coach. And on defense, it's just bad. I mean, they got Derek Lively, who I like as a rookie. He has looked good in the first couple of preseason games. Grant Williams is cool, but the problem is with their team defense. Of course, they're a little small, but if you can communicate as a team well on defense, if you can rotate well, then that can make up for some of the problems you have with your defensive versatility. And the Mavericks do not communicate at all on defense. It's a big problem, not their offense. Luka and Kyrie are two of the best offensive players in the NBA. Let's make that clear. I don't think it has to do with them. For the Denver Nuggets,
Tough contested three, and Denver comes out of the fray. Gordon looking to push, finds the trailing Jokic floater, and he puts it in.
their over-under is 53.5. I'm going to go with over. They are a really great basketball team. Of course, Nikola Jokic is incredible. They're well coached. Jamal Murray's great. Michael Porter Jr. is good. It is unfortunate that they lost Bruce Brown, but I think that Christian Brown can replace him, and hopefully Payne Watson can have a good second year. Other than that, there's no real reason why the Nuggets should be doubted. They're great. They won a championship for a reason, so I will go with the over on the Denver Nuggets. Next team is the Detroit Pistons. I'm going to go with the over again. I'm sorry. Their win total is just too small for me to go under. It's at 27.5. I think they're going to win 28 games. I like their young talent. Cade is good pick and roll player, good IQ, unselfish. Jaden Ivey, I like him. Asor Thompson, this guy's already became one of my favorite rookies. Of course, Victor is my favorite, but that doesn't matter. And I also like Jalen Duren, good passer, good rebounder. He's a beast. He's really good. I also like the vets that they have, Bojan Bogdanovic, Joe Harris, Monte Morris. I think having that 3-point shooting is important for this team. So I think they're going to be pretty solid offensively if they can stay healthy. So that is why I'm going to go with the over for the Pistons. If it was at 32 games or something, I probably would have gone under because they're young and they're going to be really bad on defense. Next team is the Golden State Warriors.
Under 8 minutes remaining. Davis trying to swat it away. Curry with Murray on him. Three-pointer. Puts it in! Oh, Steph Curry from way downtown.
And I'm going to go with the under. I want to make this clear. I'm only going the under because it's at 48.5, meaning they got to win 49 or more games. I actually have the Warriors as a top 4 seed in the West. There's just so much talent at the top of the West and in general in the West that I think there's going to be so many teams that are around the 49 to like 45 range. That is why I think that the Warriors are going to win less than 49 games, but I still think they're going to be really good. And I like the Chris Paul fit. I think Steph is incredible, and I think they're going to be good on defense. I like their bench. I like their young guys. I think that this is the year that they are going to contribute. Jonathan Kuminga and Moses Moody. I also like them bringing in Dario Saric because he's a good passer for a center. Yeah, it's unfortunate that I'm going to go the under on the Warriors, even though I really like them, but I just have to. Next team is the Houston Rockets. Their over-under is 31.5. I'm going to go over because I think that they look good. I like Ime Udoka as a coach, and I like how they look so far in preseason on defense. They're being much more aggressive, relying on their backside defense, and they got a lot of good perimeter defenders. Fred VanVleet, Dylan. I know that a lot of people don't like Dylan. I don't like him either. I think he's pretty cringe. But to be fair to him, he's still one of the better defenders in the league. Tari Eason and Jabari Smith Jr. are also really good. And as a team, I think they're going to force a lot of turnovers. Offensively, I'm a little more concerned because I don't know if they have enough three-point shooting. And Fred VanVleet, Jalen Green, and Dylan Brooks aren't efficient. However, I think if they run their offense through Şengün and give it to him in the high post, cutting, if they run delay action through him, I think that their offense will be respectable. So I have the Rockets around like 35 wins this year. Next team is the Indiana Pacers. What is funny about the Pacers is people are confident about the over for the Pacers, and I was too, because last year they were really good, but then Tyrese Halliburton missed 10 games and they went 1-9, and that just ruined their season. And now you add Bruce Brown. Hopefully Jarace Walker at the end of the year gets big minutes for this team because I really like him on defense. Obi Toppin, even though I think that he's a little overrated, I still think he's a good player, and he fits this Pacers team better than he did when he was on the Knicks. And also the fact that the Pacers are really good in transition. I thought that this would be an easy over. However, I'm going to go with the under. Their over-under is 38.5. And let me explain why. One, I don't think their defense is going to be good again this year. Yes, you got Miles Turner, Bruce Brown, Jarace Walker for a rookie should be good on defense, hopefully. But during the preseason, I've seen things that I just do not like. For example, getting beat back door. Also, their rotations on defense are not looking good. And other than Bruce Brown, I really don't see any other good perimeter defenders. Andrew Nembhard is a good perimeter defender, but I got problems with the Pacers defense. And also, I'm concerned about this team if Tyrese Halliburton gets injured. Are we just saying that hopefully Tyrese Halliburton plays 82 games and then the Pacers wouldn't have to worry about how they play without him? I'm seriously concerned that if Tyrese Halliburton misses 10 games again this year, the Pacers will go 1-9 again, which will basically hurt their season. For the Los Angeles Clippers, I'm going to go under. Their over under is 46.5, and I think it's pretty simple. It's because they'll probably not be able to stay healthy. That's the biggest concern with this Clippers team. I love Kawhi, I love Paul George, and I love Russell Westbrook. I just don't think that Kawhi or PG will be able to stay healthy for them to have good success in the regular season. But in the playoffs, they are pretty scary because they are talented. Next team is the Los Angeles Lakers. Their over under is 47.5. I'm going to go over. I understand that's contradicting what I just said with the Clippers because the Lakers will probably not stay healthy. I just like how the Lakers have looked in the preseason. I like how their offense has looked. I like that the Lakers are playing more 5-out on offense. I think that creates more space and it creates more open shots. And I also like how D'Angelo Russell has looked. I like what Gabe Vincent can do for the Lakers. I also like Taurean Prince. I thought that was a good signing, even though in his first couple of preseason games, he was struggling with foul trouble. I just think that the Lakers are going to be really good this season, and I think they're going to continue that success that they had last year. The Memphis Grizzlies, their over-under is 45.5. I'm going over because the Grizzlies just find ways to win regular season games. I do not blame anyone that's going the under because Ja Morant's missing 25 games. The Grizzlies also do not have Brandon Clark, who's a good role player. They're just so good on defense with their interior defense, aggressive on-ball defense, and on offense, they're really good in transition. They get a lot of offensive rebounds. I also think that Desmond Bane is underrated. I think he's a really good shot creator, and I think that this year we're going to see that with Ja Morant out, how good he is. And I think he's going to win them games and keep them afloat. I also like Luke Kennard that gives you more three-point shooting, and I like how he fits next to Steven Adams. Steven Adams is extremely important for the Grizzlies since Ja is out. He needs to stay healthy. If he gets injured again like last year, then yes, the Grizzlies will probably win less than 45 games. But with his offensive rebounding, his screening, he's so important for the Grizzlies. Miami Heat is the next team.
46 points for Jimmy Butler. Sets up on three. Good! Why not?
Their over-under is also 45.5. I'm simply going under because I think the Heat are more focused for the playoffs. They are my third contender in the East. Bucks, Celtics, those two aren't in order yet. But I think that the Heat are right below them. So I really respect the Heat. I just don't think that they're going to focus on the regular season. And if they miss Jimmy Butler, then they're probably not going to win the games that he is injured. That's another concern of mine. Next team is the Milwaukee Bucks.
Pull up from the mid-range, off the mark, and Giannis secures it for Milwaukee. All the way in, Giannis with the lefty flush, plus the foul.
Their over-under is 54.5. I'm going to go with the over here because I think that Dame and Giannis is such a good duo. It makes the game so much easier for their teammates, and they're just going to create so much open looks on offense where it's going to be easy for them to win regular season games. And on defense, I still think they're going to be good with Giannis or Brook Lopez. In the playoffs, they may struggle on defense. They got to rely on MarJon Beauchamp as their best perimeter defender. But I think how they defend as a team is more important. How they defend isolations, sending guys into help, not leaving them on an island. However, just talking about the regular season, I think that the Bucks are going to be really good. Also, Chris Middleton wasn't healthy last year. Hopefully he stays healthy and that will help the Bucks even more. Next team is the Minnesota Timberwolves. Their over-under is 44.5. I think this is an over. I think they're going to win 45 or 46 games next year, and they're a really talented team. Anthony Edwards is incredible. Jaden McDaniels is also really good. I think he's the best perimeter defender in the NBA, and he can create his own shot a little bit. He is currently injured, so hopefully he's going to be healthy. They also have Karl Anthony Towns, Rudy Gobert. The Timberwolves also have a really good bench, and they're also going to be really good on defense. The problem with the Timberwolves is they lose themselves games. What I mean is they turn the ball over, they make questionable decisions. So if they can control their own fate and don't make those dumb decisions, then I think that they're definitely going to win more than 44 games. And I think that the Timberwolves are going to be a really good regular season team. Next is New Orleans. I like them. They have talent, but I'm going to go the under. Their over-under is 44.5, simply because I don't believe that Zion's going to stay healthy. I also do not think that they have a lot of three-point shooting, which will hurt them. I also think that their defense isn't good because Jonas Valanciunas is very bad on defense. He's extremely slow. He doesn't protect the rim. I also do not like how they give up a lot of threes on defense, and they also do not communicate well on defense. So if Zion can't stay healthy and if they can't be a very good offensive team, I don't think that the Pelicans will be really good. Brandon Ingram is also really good, a good scorer. I like Trey Murphy, but he's currently injured. Herb Jones got injured during their preseason game against the Atlanta Hawks. Hopefully he is okay. CJ McCollum is solid, but a little inconsistent. In general, I just don't like the Pelicans because of their health, and that's going to lead to them losing games. Next team is the New York Knicks. Their over-under is 45.5. I'm going to go with the under literally by 1 or 2 games. I still think they are really good. I love Jalen Brunson, and on defense, I think they're going to be really good with Emmanuel Quickley, Dante DiVincenzo, Josh Hart, Quentin Grimes, Miles McBride, and Mitchell Robinson protecting the rim. The only problem they have on defense is one, Julius Randle is kind of lazy on defense and he falls asleep. And they also give up a lot of open threes, which really concerns me. Other than that, the Knicks are really good and Jalen Brunson is great. I also like RJ Barrett, even though his jumper is inconsistent. He gets to the rim so well and draws contact really well. The Knicks can definitely win over 45 games. I just think that the East is pretty competitive. Maybe if Joel Embiid, James Harden, maybe if the Sixers blow up during the deadline, then the Knicks can sneak in there and win 45 games. But as of right now, I'm going to go the under. For the OKC Thunder, I really like them. Shea is great. I love Jalen Williams. I think that Chet's going to be really good. Josh Giddey is such a good passer. But for this season, I'm going to go with the under. Their over-under is 44.5. I have them around the 9th seed. So I think they're going to win around 40 games. And they're also really good on defense. I just think that their lack of three-point shooting, other than Chet and Isaiah Joe, is going to hurt them. And I also think that they're going to be one of the worst rebounding teams in the NBA. Other than that, I really like the Thunder. I think they're going to be so fun to watch. I still have to go with the under for them. Next team is the Philadelphia 76ers.
Celtics back in front by 2. Embiid against Griffin. Jab and jumper. Bottom.
I'm going to go over because I think that James Harden is still going to be on the Sixers. I think that Joel Embiid and James Harden is a great duo, and I think they're going to win more than 49.5 games. However, I'm ready for this to be wrong if James Harden gets traded. I don't think he's going to. Next team is the Orlando Magic. Their over under is 36.5. I'm going to go over. I like the Magic. I like their young talent, Paulo, Franz, Markel, Wendell Carter Jr. Jalen Suggs is a really good defender. I just think with their young talent, they are going to win enough games, around 37 to 40 games. That is why I'm going to go with the over. Next team is the Phoenix Suns. Their over-under is 51.5. I'm going to go with the over because Kevin Durant, Bradley Beal, Devin Booker, I think their offense is going to be so good. I do have some questions about their defense, but other than that, their offense is going to win them games in the regular season, in my opinion. Next team is the Sacramento Kings. Their over-under is 44.5. I'm going to go with the over because they're one of the best offenses in the NBA, running their offense through Sabonis. De'Aaron Fox is really good. They run a lot of DHOs. They have good cutting. And they also have good role players that can hit threes. And they are well coached. The problem is their defense. Other than that, I think that the Kings are going to be good in the regular season. I think they will be a top 6 seed in the West because of how good their offense is. Next team is the Portland Trailblazers. Their over-under is 28.5. I'm going to go with the over because they do have vets that will win them games. Jeremy Grant, Malcolm Brogdon. They're probably going to trade these guys by the deadline, but I still think they're good players that will win them games before they get traded. The Blazers have really good young talent. Scoot, Anthony Simons is a bucket. Shaden Sharp is a really talented player and is super athletic. So the Blazers are in a good spot. And they also trade for DeAndre Ayton. I don't think he's that good, but he's going to put up good stats on this team. And Robert Williams, I like him. He just has to stay healthy. Next team is the San Antonio Spurs.
Here's Massey with Vassell, rocketing down the lane, handing to Jack hammers it in.
Their over-under is 29.5. I'm going to go with the under, even though they're going to be so fun to watch this season. Victor is absolutely incredible. Devin Vassell is a really good player. My only problems with this team is that they are extremely young, and also on defense, even though they have Victor, so that's going to make them better, they're just going to have problems that young teams do have, like getting beat backdoor, not communicating. Also, the Spurs are focusing on helping more on defense, which will lead to a lot of open threes. So I think that they will struggle on defense a little bit and also closing out games. Other than that, I really like the Spurs. Next team is the Toronto Raptors. Their over-under is 36.5. I'm going to go with the over because I like how their offense has looked in the preseason. There's more movement, more cutting, and I also like that for Scotty Barnes. I think that helps Scotty Barnes' game. Pascal Siakam is also good. I like Gary Trent Jr., OG Anunoby, and also on defense, they're going to be really good. Pascal Siakam, OG, Scotty Barnes, that's a lot of length on defense. Jakob Poeltl is a smart defensive center, and they're going to force a lot of turnovers. With this being said, I think that the Raptors are going to be good in the regular season around a play-in spot because I still think that not having that elite shot creator will hurt them. Other than that, I really do like the Raptors. Next team is the Utah Jazz. Their over-under is 35.5. I'm going to go over simply because I like Lauri Markkanen, and I think that Will Hardy is a good coach. The Jazz were an underrated team last year. But with their coaching, I think that they're going to be a good team. There's just so much talent in the West, so I can't call them a play-in team, but I think that they can get around 37, 38 wins. The last team is the Washington Wizards. Their over-under is 24.5. I'm going to go over simply because I don't think that there's any NBA team that is that bad. I think that every single team will win 25 or more games. I do think that the Wizards are going to be the worst team in the East. However, I don't think that they're going to be this bad. I'm interested to see Jordan Poole as a first option with that freedom. Kyle Kuzma is a good player. I like their rookie Bele because he's a really good defender. I like Corey Kispert because he can move without the ball well. Corey can also shoot threes, and he's an underrated finisher. He just needs to attack the basket more. Daniel Gafford is a good center. Other than that, they don't have really any depth at the center position. I like Denny, but I don't think that he's going to be an all-star for the Wizards because I think he lacks that aggressiveness, and I don't think that he's going to be a good three-point shooter in his career, but he's a good passer and defender. And that's all I got for you for the second episode of the Everything Hoops podcast. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, then follow us on Spotify. Other than that, I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you for the next episode of the Everything Hoops podcast.